still going.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Comic Core Unlimited. That was Jason. I'm John. We got JD. Sadly, Israel is out tonight. We send him our best. I hope he's having a good night off. And we found a pretty awesome replacement, Mr. Caleb the Comic Smurf. So let's run through and say a little hi, everybody. Jason, how you doing, brother? You jumped us right in.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I was gonna say something that I'm not gonna say now, but yeah, doing good, man. Yeah, had today off, so I read a lot of comics today, and it's awesome. So now I feel like I read everything.
Good way
I
to
wanted
spend
to
a day,
read.
right?
Yeah, dude, I feel like I read everything I wanted to read that came out like this week, and so now I got to do some catching up for the rest of the week of other stuff I want to read. So good times.
Nice. JD, how you doing, man?
Good. How's everybody else? It was good. Haven't been on in a while. It's because you had Endgame over the weekend, and I caught up on a little bit of reading. Read some old, read some new. Typical.
Well, you were running the show last night. That Golden Guys was on again.
Yeah, Golden Guys was a great episode. We had a lot of fun last night. We were talking a little bit after. We were discussing about a weekly option on that one.
I really hope you guys do it weekly. I mean, I feel like the information is so valuable. It's going to be the most popular show like on Comic Core, because the replay value on that is just like infinite knowledge constantly.
Yeah, and that's what we're gonna try to. We have literally a list of like 30 topics, and we're like, we can really research this before we do it a week before, and we'll do a couple of days before, and I think we kind of know what we're doing, and we kind of like the format of the show. We'll get better as we go along. That's only our second episode. I think we're getting everything down, but thank you guys for the nice words.
And then we have Mr. Caleb the Comic Smurf joining us. Are you enjoying yourself like a fat rat in a cheese factory?
Dude, I am. I absolutely am. I got some Comic Karma blessings that came to me. A collection found me. Put it that way. My barber sent me in the right direction. It's pretty cool. Never had nothing like this happen.
He got his honey hole. That's no joke.
For real. That's
every time I see you in a chat, every time I see you on a show, you definitely bring the joy of this comic collecting every time. I just absolutely appreciate you.
Thank you so much, man. And all the people watching right now, dude. It's for the community. That's what it's all about. The community is so awesome. Everybody's got their own thing that they like. Everybody helps everybody out, dude. It's just good times.
So we're going to shout out the chat real quick before we dive in, but it seems like everybody online tonight has been talking Endgame. Everybody's thrown the curtain back, and there are no more spoilers allowed.
We crossed the barrier to where it's being rude to just being a fan.
So just beware what chats you jump in tonight, because there is very little to be hidden. We had Whitewell Comics, first guy in the room. Alec, good to see you, brother, always wherever you go. Drew Manchu is in here. Thank you for coming out. Comics for All People #1, Mastodon Comics, JP Budget Collecting. Caleb is in here. Old Wolf, good to see you, sir. He is everywhere. He is just a badass. Let's see. We got Bonafide Comics, Comic Books NYC. Good to see you, Kavi. Jack Yo is in the chat. Comic Core Chad, thank you for coming by and supporting. Always a pleasure having you in here. And I'm hoping to hang with you guys tomorrow night on the Comic Core. We'll shout that out a little later. And then Perry Comics just jumped in. Good to see you, sir. Nice always having you around. We always start our show off with the reading list. This is a show that really cares a lot about good story, good reading, and we're always, as you can tell, avid readers. So I like to start with Jason. Clearly had a huge list of things he was plowing through. What are some of the highlights you read today or this week?
That was a good day. We'll start off with Batman, Tom King. It was pretty much just Batman waking up and escaping out of Arkham, fighting his way out. Not much, short and sweet. That's pretty much it.
So this is the continuation. Are we finally done
Nightmares
with dream sequences?
Yeah, Nightmares is done. So this is finally the start of like the new arc.
So does that mean the Bane stuff was part of a dream?
No, that's still coming.
So this was the issue I should have picked up finally.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it wasn't necessary. You just got to know he just is fighting his way out of Gotham, or out of the Arkham or prison or whatever he was held, and that's it.
All right, really maybe I have to jump back in here because I loved all the Bane stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, there's like some dialogue and stuff too I don't agree with, but whatever. And then went to next is Batman or Deceased, which is awesome. If any of you guys read that, or not sure if any of you guys did, but I highly recommend that. That was really cool. They did the whole entire like kind of Final Crisis way of spreading the anti-life equation. So that was cool to see a return of that. But of course, it has this like Black Rider injected into Cyborg that kind of sets everything off. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Nice, you got the It cover. I see there, John.
Yeah, I was pumped to get the It cover for sure. I think these movie horror poster covers are pretty badass. I'm looking forward to the Nightmare on Elm Street one because that, for me as a kid, I not only did I love Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger was so badass, but I grew up like right around the corner area from the actor Robert Englund. Like,
oh, sick.
And, dude, he would just roll to the beach and hang out and talk. Like I still see him from time to time in the hometown where I grew up. He's a really friendly, chill guy. But it'd be like, dude, there's Freddy Krueger. He's right there.
That's awesome. I recently watched a Married with Children episode, and he guest starred. He played the devil, and he was just kind of creepy.
Perfect casting.
Yeah, perfect cast. But yeah, I ordered the Scorpion Comics exclusive Perillo cover, the Virgin one. So I'm looking forward to getting that. That just mailed today.
I want that Finch one.
Yeah, that's really
with
nice.
The white background and the blood splatter with Batman.
Yeah, I think I ordered that one too.
This is actually the only book that I actually got to read from my pulls this week.
Oh man, it's so good.
I'm a sucker for zombies, though.
Yeah, same.
I'm still holding out for a zombie apocalypse in real life.
See, I want to say that's all from DC that I read. Moving on to Marvel Comics. Well, I want to talk about You're the Villain later on after this, if you guys don't mind. Just as some kind of repercussions and things. I want to, that leads to that DC continuity. But as for Marvel, Cosmic Ghost Rider is the Marvel History. Number 3 was okay. Dead Man Logan, number 7. John, did you pick that up?
You bet I did.
Dude, did you read it?
Not yet. I haven't had time.
It is so disturbing. It's like
so
one of the most
he's
disturbing.
Back in the old Man Logan world again.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the end of 6.
Right.
So I was excited to because for me, again, the reason I've been reading this is I love the original Old Man Logan. You and I have been talking about Quill and Hawkeye, how great those were. I was excited to see him back here again.
That issue is so disturbing. It's one of the most disturbing comics I've read in a long time.
Now I'm going to have to put that to the top of the list.
I'm so excited for you to read that. I think you're going to get grossed out and weirded out. And it's going to be cool.
Be ready. Saturday morning comics might get raw.
Oh, man. Let's see. Punisher 11 is ridiculously amazing. So much action.
Series.
The art was so good. Storyline's so fun. And it ends the Bagalia arc, so we'll see what happens.
What issue was this?
Man,
11.
Punisher number 11, yeah.
Do they already have the
Punisher's
first trade out yet?
I'm assuming usually it's 5 issues that make a trade of. So
yeah,
this should be on 2.
Punisher, the first issue was a standard size. So yeah, it would be 5 to 6 issues. You might get 6 because there's a lot of ads in Marvel books today, which I'm going to talk about. Jeez.
Savage Avengers was super cool, man. Yeah, dude.
You got him choking over there.
Dude, the fight between Conan and Wolverine was ridiculous. Like, I don't think Conan would have survived that fight, especially being slashed a couple times, But hey, man, it was still really cool. That was like the highlight of I love just seeing that fight. I never thought I'd ever see Conan versus Wolverine. So sick. And then I'm wondering what kind of
Conan versus Wolverine's in an old What If I got right here somewhere.
I'm wondering what Venom this is that's joining up, that's kind of locked in the cage up there.
Oh yeah, did you read Venom War of the
13?
Yeah, and it's a
one?
Right. I read the Cullen Bunn one, and
It looks like they have another symbiote because the guy's got spoiler.
No, it's fine. No, I mean, because he has that different suit though. It's not the same Venom, so it's kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what symbiote it is. So,
and then War of the Realms number 3 has been great. I've been loving War of the Realms, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna get into that one.
Also, War of the Realms, Strike Force, the Dark Elf Realm was pretty good too. But it's kind of confusing. I almost felt like I should have read that first before War of the Realms, but then the ending of the comic felt like you should read it after War of the Realms. So it was very weird, kind of the way it was paced. But man, the art was great. They had that kind of weird dream action sequence where they had battle their worst nightmares. That was.
I think
really
it's hard
cool.
with the tie-ins like that because I remember when I read I'm rereading some of the Infinity Gauntlet tie-ins along with Fire Guy Ryan and Tom when they do their recaps.
Mm-hmm.
And there's several of those where they have the same chronology issue where it's it's a tie-in issue, so it's like a Doctor Strange or whatever, and the beginning seems to be at one point, but the end seems to be at another, and it's hard to know how that fits in.
Yeah, I still feel like reading all these I mean, I guess they're considered tie-ins, but not in the way as it's just like Squirrel Girl with like, and then a little subtitle like tie-in. Like those ones you don't really need, but when it's titled War of the Realms, something, like you got to read it because it's all totally valuable. It's valuable information, I think. It's worth reading. Uncanny X-Men was really good. I've been enjoying Uncanny X-Men, but it's kind of weirded out because like last week we had the Uncanny X-Men War of the Realms, and I want to say Wolfbane was alive in there, but like in the Uncanny series, like she died in like the issue prior, and so this one was kind of like the funeral issue. Like the funeral issue for her was like this week. So I'm not sure. Maybe I'm getting my characters mixed up, but I'm pretty sure they don't really kind of add up. As for Indy, I got to read. I think it's from Aftershock Descendants. It has a really cool Juan Doe cover.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah, I had high expectations because I like conspiracy things, and it just starts off this dude's gonna run for president, and his wife is there to calm him down on a speech, and then they go to put the baby asleep or get the baby ready for the day actually, and they realize the baby's gone, and there's like a ransom note that has like some misspellings in it and like a weird symbol on it. And then that symbol is kind of like continues on throughout the series, and it goes back to like the Lindbergh baby. I guess the symbol was on the ransom note there, and then it keeps going, but like it wasn't like good really. The comic, like the dialogue wasn't good or that compelling, and I don't know if I'd pick up issue 2. Just maybe if I would, it'd just be from my curiosity of like conspiracy things and see where it goes. And like I love those Juan Doe covers. He's just like I think a great artist. He does like Dark Arc covers. Yep. He's done some Baby Teeth covers. The
guy at the shop when I went to go grab it, and he knows my style. He's like, it's not good.
Yeah, he's like, nah, don't do it.
He goes, look, it sounded so much better than
yes.
It dies after page 2.
Yeah, and I was looking forward to it. It tanked for me, man.
I was wondering if you picked up that new Ray to 4000 AD. What's that? The new
Is that the Bloodshot one?
Yeah, it's the new what's his name?
Fallen World.
Fallen World. Yeah, that's it. With Dan Abnett is the writer.
I haven't read it yet.
So
I like Dan Abnett, man. His Nova run is awesome.
Well, he's the Guardians that you love. So.
I know exactly, but his Nova run was also fire.
I want to know if anybody read that because I saw a bunch of them and I'm like, yeah, maybe I should just pick it up. But I'm going to give it.
I haven't read it yet, but I'll let you know for sure. I'll have it read by tomorrow.
I to finish up. I've been trying to like catch up on my Amazing Spider-Man, and like now it's all this Craven kind of storyline, but there's so many issues, and I was like, man, I haven't read Spider-Man in a while. I got a lot of catching up to do, and they came out like weekly, so they're just piling up. And so I was like, well, you know what? Let me read Craven's Last Hunt as like a refresher, and then see how like this one comes out. So like read all Craven's Last Hunt, and then like now I got to the point where like it's finally about to start, like on that point in Amazing Spider-Man. So I'm looking forward to finally catching up with that and see how some things compare or not. So that's gonna be a fun read for me. And then of course I'm still doing Y the Last Man for Story Comic Corn Mondays.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be awesome. And then that's it for me, guys. But I've been reading.
Good work, man. You've been working hard.
Yeah, it's been fun.
JD, what have you been reading and enjoying? I'm assuming that you got issue 3 War of the Realms today.
I did. I'm actually collecting these connecting covers just because I think it's cool. It's different. It's not value or anything else like that.
And it's Adi Granov.
Yeah, it's Adi. I mean, it's good. I mean, I definitely like the map part in the back the most. Can't wait to pull it all together. There's going to be 10 of them. Plus, I got to get the other 2, which are one-shots. After watching Endgame, this is the best read. Because your mind is bouncing from realm to realm in this, which you can do if you watched Endgame. Spoiler alert, there's going to be plenty of them. From each different time area, one's in 2013 Asgard, 2012 New York, 2013 Asgard, 2014 on the Star-Lord planet, and goes around like that. That's what this book does the whole time. So you could keep up with this Jason Aaron nutjob writing that's just ridiculously good. And the dialogue is absolutely perfect for each character. I'm going to say it. He can write for anybody. He got down that, but I will say this. The last page is just ridiculous. You got to admit that. When you see who's coming next.
I can't wait to read it. This is the one I was looking forward to the most.
He comes. That's good, and I'm going to say this. Savage Avengers is such a fun book.
I missed that one. I got to go back.
It's a fun book. It's a fun Avengers story. Just know that they're nuts. I mean, you got Brother Voodoo, Conan, A Venom, which Punisher, Wolverine, and Elektra we haven't seen yet, but everything else is there. It's good. Those are the two, and I've been catching up on all the Alan Moore Swamp Things, getting them all out of the way. This week was 27 through 40, so 13 issues of that. So that's been my thing. Modern, go back to reading the other stuff, and then when you start reading those Alan Moores, you read like 3 or 4 in a row. So that's about it.
We can't hear you, John.
I can't hear you, John. Yeah.
You're muted.
Sorry, I had myself muted. Didn't want to distract. Caleb, you got a huge collection recently. We'll get into some of the big purchases, but has that led to any good reading this week? What have you been reading?
Man, it has taken up my entire time, bro. The only thing I got to read was Deceased because y'all invited me on the new Comic Book Day book club.
There you go.
Super excited about it. It's got my dude on the cover, little Robin, man. And it was like the scariest freaking movie in the world to me when I was a kid. Because I liked playing in the rain. I used to make little paper boats and everything. No joke. The gutters in Florida fill up quick, and it rains every day at 3 o'clock.
They all float.
But yeah, I read that today. But I'll make up for not reading a bunch more with some books that I'll show later when we do some stuff that we picked up. But I picked up War of the Realms. This was what I was most excited for. They didn't have the connecting cover, which is also what I was getting. Definitely picked up this one, Fallen World. Talked about that.
Shout out. We got Mr. Great Legend in the chat, and it's his birthday. Happy
birthday, Legend.
I picked up this one just in case Alec missed it. It's a Terry Moore that I didn't even know was coming out, and I know he loves it, so he actually did miss it, so I got it for him. Black Mask. I like independent publishers, so I went with the Nobody is in Control. I don't know anything about it yet, and then I got the Descendant book.
Okay.
So I'll do a lot of reading tomorrow for sure.
Cool. That's why I do a reading recap show on Saturday. It takes me that long just to get through my books.
And just to tease, I'll just show one of my pickups.
Oh,
First Hawkeye.
Look at that. Man, we need to get you off the hunt. We can't. We're going to lose to you.
Hey, I've already been
Tony and I were getting old.
messaging Tony.
Oh, yeah. I'll get you. That'll be something.
Well, for me, I didn't read a whole lot from today, but I did pick up some stuff. So I did, like Jason was talking about earlier, got the Old Man Logan Dead Man Logan #7. I started that with Bueller on the book club, and I liked it enough to stick with it. And it's lagged a little bit, but once he went back now into the original world where he came from, I was like, yes, I want to keep getting to this issue. So I snagged that one. Anything in that world I'm interested in. A lot of these are book club. I realize Meet the Scrolls was really fun, and so I got issue 4 for that. I've been really enjoying it. Somebody compared it to the TV show The Americans in the Marvel universe, and that's spot on. I totally agree. I grabbed Deceased for today. I mentioned that already. The Comic Queen was raving about this issue of Green Lantern.
I got
tagged. So I picked that up today. It's sort of done in prose as opposed to like typical comic style, and I haven't read it yet. But just the idea alone, I was interested.
I got to catch up on that. I read like issue 3, but I thought it was fine. I'm looking forward to reading the rest though.
I'm gonna finish Geoff Johns before I start that run. Yeah,
that's a lot to read. And then I snagged this cover for War of the Realms. Sorry,
so sick.
I'm a big Daredevil fan.
I see that in any shop I went to.
And I was just like, I've got to find this. And my LCS had a couple, and they were willing to hold one for me, so I was definitely in on that. And then a lot of my last week I've spent reading this Azarella Wonder Woman, so I've been pounding, rereading, and rereading that. So it's been a
Congrats on the new episode,
never read it
dude.
Before.
Congrats on the new show, man. I caught that earlier today, brother. Thanks.
Yeah, so like I did a quick recap of it. You can catch it on my channel, but I just my girls have been begging me to read this for a while, and it was like they're telling me how good it is, and so finally I got around to powering it down, and they were fully right. It's a lot of fun. It's violent and bloody, but fun.
The new that Azarello Wonder Woman.
This is the new 52 Wonder Woman that Azarello did. I think there's something like 5 or 6 trades of it now.
Okay, yeah, I remember it being a pretty big run. I always wanted to read it because I'm just not really digging the current Wonder Woman, so I kind of wanted to get that fixed.
Yeah, I mean, I had never really jumped in on a Wonder Woman issue 1 and just started reading it, and it was definitely worth the time. I had caught her in bits and pieces. I tried this issue, tried that issue, and never really found the perfect starting point, and this one worked well for me.
They
also
compared that Wonder Woman run, Azrael's Wonder Woman run, to Brubaker's Captain America run as their best 2
cool
of the history of 40s, golden age original comic book heroes. Their best runs were 60 years later in some cases. Like Wonder Woman, her best run, they all say, is the Azrael. They all say Captain America's was Ed Brubaker. I thought it was a great comparison. The local shop had that on one of their conversation debates.
Huh. That makes sense. I totally buy it. Yeah.
I also really, really wish that Daredevil, the God Without Fear, was like his own series. Like I just want to read nothing but that.
Yeah, it's good.
Instead of having like a little mini section of a story out of 3, or whatever.
Yeah.
I want like all of that.
Daredevil, I need a lot of writers to come back and a lot of them to go away. It's what I have. Daredevil is such one of those that if you screw it up, it aggravates me the whole time. Daredevil's the hardest one I think most people have a problem writing for. Because half of the time you're like, he doesn't do that. He can't do that. He's not superhuman. So anyway.
Well, real quickly, I know that Jason wanted to talk about the Year of the Villain 25 comic that came out today.
Did you read it, John?
I skimmed it. My LCS was giving these away for free, which was pretty awesome. I know that they should have been charging for them. And I know Bueller mentioned that a lot of shops will be charging. I was just pumped that they were giving it away. And I know that the artwork I saw was really, really cool. A couple of the panels definitely intrigued me. I'm still not sold on the Batman Who Laughs, so I'm not really pumped on that part of it. But obviously, the Bane side of it definitely intrigues me.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like, it went from, Rebirth and then to kind of, culminating or building up to Doomsday Clock. And I feel like that was going to be like after Doomsday Clock was over originally, I feel like that was going to be like the new progression of DC, from here on, what the repercussions of that means and stuff. And it would have been like almost like a new rebirth. But, things change in the politics of DC and how it's run. And, it's pretty much turned to like the Snyder universe. So I feel like Justice League is now the current like backbone of like DC and like what drives it, going forward. And so then, we had like Bendis come in. He's like writing into Superman and Action Comics. I feel like he like lost track of like his original goal of like Rogozar, maybe because people hated it and like didn't think it was cool, even though he claimed it was like the biggest bad guy and stuff. And I think sales were tanking. I thought, for Superman, for Action and Action Comics. And I feel like he switched to going more of a detective route. He's doing like the Event Leviathan and totally ditched like Rogozar and gave it to the guy who's writing Supergirl. And that all the answers for Rogozar and stuff is happening with over there in the Supergirl comic, and I hear it's pretty good actually. And then you have Tom King Batman. He has this like Bane stuff going on, and it's been like been a circulus thing and like revolving forever, and it's a whole lot of fillers and continuity and things just don't make sense. And I think it's bad, but so a lot of people like it. You've been digging it, but I feel like then also they announced there's a Batman Superman comic coming out starring the Batman Who Laughs, and I guess what his plan is to like recruit or he already infected 6, I think, or 5 superheroes, and it's kind of like who you're going to find out who they are, and I guess maybe they're dark versions. So that's interesting. But I feel like maybe this Year of the Villain might be a way for DC to kind of put everything together and move on again, almost like a new rebirth of what Doomsday Clock was originally supposed to do. And in my opinion, I feel like, how do you wrap up Tom King's crap that I don't like? How do you wrap up Bendis's crap that I don't like? Hey, let's make Year of the Villain and just kind of shove it in with Justice League and and have a culmination of all that. But that's just my opinion. With that said, I was like, well, all right, this Year of the Villain, I thought it was going to be like a miniseries, like 5-6 issues or something. But apparently it's going to have like 5 different chapters. There's like The Offer starts in July, Dark Gifts starts in August, Evil Unleashed in September, Doom Rising in October, and then Hostile Takeover in November. And it says Hostile Takeover, the unthinkable becomes reality as the villains win. So I guess, eventually the villains are going to win, and then it's going to change DC from there on. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen, or how they're going to change directions, or what it's going to mean for the ultimate DC universe. And then, of course, there's they give a breakdown of all the different appearances and things that's going to happen. And they're not starting until like July 17th, it seems, or July 10th, July 3rd, maybe. But that's still a way to start an event and give a preview this early. That's like 2 months away. So it's like, one, can you keep readership? Hopefully you got all those new comic book day readers that pick up, this Year of the Villain issue, and hopefully they come back in 2 months to pick that up. I feel it's a little too early, but it is a good way to kind of bring people in.
This may be blaspheming, but I think Jim Lee is not a good editor. I never have.
He's definitely not a writer. He's definitely
not a writer, and I don't see him. I think this is what, to my personal opinion of DC, is you've got Deceased going on. You're building this up with the Villains book, and I get that and everything else like that, but you have been never, your cover to cover stuff and everything that you've done have never been that impressive. And you have to hit a home run on this one. You have to, because they need it. They need something, because Marvel's crushing them, with the exception of B covers or something. Every shop I'm saying, it's stuff is just staying on the shelf at DC, except the Naomi thing is pretty crazy, but I think that's spec anyway. So.
No doubt. I mean, what do you guys think? With what now, that it's going to last that long and the villains are going to win. How do you think it's going to affect the DC universe? Do you have any opinions of how it might go, what direction they might take, or how they're going to rebirth?
I've always thought DC was on the darker side, so it doesn't surprise me that they're going to back their villains. And if you look at the older, because I've been looking at a bunch of older Silver Age books lately, when it comes to DC, except for Golden Age and really old books, their villains sell the best, and the prices are going up the most.
Oh, yeah. DC, Marvel villains is too many, too ridiculous, too outrageous. Not everybody could be as cool as Paste Pot Pete. But DC villains, I mean, you're talking, as far as iconic villains in comics go, as cool as I think Loki and Thanos and Doctor Doom and Magneto might be, don't compare to Joker.
That's true, man.
No one compares.
DC does do good villains.
And even like
Sinestro, come on, man.
Sinestro, yeah. I mean, everybody. I mean, look at I was thinking of all the Batman villains that sell. They're constantly in books, so it's never ending. Where you don't hear a villain for like 20 years in Marvel, and all of a sudden they come back and we're like, we weren't afraid of him then. Why are we afraid of him now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jack Yo brings up a good point. He says, "How is this different than Forever Evil?" And that's true. It could just be like a short time period, a little chapter at DC. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of open for like another rebirth and a uniting redirection for all those characters that lost their way, like like Nightwing, and
so
let's make all these other books like back to being readable.
Is it a mini series in the sense that like they're dropping one book each one of those months, so 5 issues, or is it like a tie-in thing where like all the other comics are playing into it?
Yeah, it's like it's like a tie-in to like everything, like all every single comic book pretty much is gonna be with Year of the Villain storylines included. So. It's I guess I would compare it to like War of the Realms, like right now, I mean, it seems like it's an event. I thought it was going to be like a short miniseries, but yeah, I think it's like a true event.
I saw that Epicurean Eye Relief jumped in the chat, and Carlito Clasico, and I saw TJ earlier. I'm sorry, TJ, that I didn't shout you out when you came in. Some awesome folks in the chat. We're just catching up on exciting things that we've been reading, exciting things that we see coming down the pike here to enjoy in your future collecting.
Before we start the Endgame spoiler talk, I was wondering, JD, is it possible to fix the title to say Endgame spoilers? Just you don't have any random people that would jump in and get mad or something. I just feel like it's a good heads up to do, because I feel like some things were spoiled for some people.
Edit. We'll put that in right now. Give me one second here.
So yeah, Thanks, if you are in the chat and are concerned about this discussion spoiling you, you should definitely take off for now or come back and check in again later. We do plan on discussing Endgame. We're not going to go crazy with the spoilers, but we're certainly not going to hold back if there's a topic that we want to get into, something that we think is important or interesting. Sam's Tangled Web is in here. Good to see you, sir. And I think I saw Brandon Stawinski. Thank you so much for coming by, brother. Are we good? Are we clear?
Yes, we are.
I will say, I will echo the sentiments that I've been seeing in a lot of chats and a lot of comments from a lot of people. I feel very strongly that this is a very good movie. Infinity War is better. That's basically my one sentence review that I'm happy to shout out.
Heck no.
All right. Let me defend the Russo.
Infinity War might have been funner, but it was not better.
What is a better cinematic production? Not a better, more action-packed comic book movie. What is the better cinematic? Which is the best acted movie by anybody in Marvel history? Was Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. in Endgame. The most emotional roller coaster you've been on in any movie you've seen. Probably, I'm trying to think of other movies that it compares to. People say Star Wars. I'm like, you didn't clap until the end in Star Wars. You didn't cry when people died. Porkins, maybe, but that was about it. like a classic film of all time. You can go Wizard of Oz, you can go something like that. But what movie did you actually watch an entire crowd while you were watching that movie that was vested? So I understand that. They were fans to begin with, so it's different. But which movie have you ever been to where people laughed 5 times, cried 5 times, and clapped 5 times?
It's true.
I would argue this. It has those powerful moments, no doubt. But it's also because of the, in my opinion, very foolish idea of using time travel as their plot device. It's built on a house of cards. And the more you study it, the more you dive into it, the more passionately you break it apart. I feel like it's, and I really think it's a very good movie. If you decide to dissect it at any point, it all just falls apart and becomes frustrating.
Totally. I agree. I think personally there's a lot of plot holes, and yes.
I think there was no logic to using time travel. I think they did it and then they were like, this will be exciting to go back to these moments. And I don't think they thought longer about it.
I think it's supposed to be the Russo's last movie too, so they're kind of like, "Yep, well, we're done. See you later. Good luck now. We did our job, and we're just gonna go over here now." But it wrapped everything up in a bow, and I thought it was a great send off too.
I'm not hating. I'm not hating because I do enjoy it. I will buy it. I will watch it a whole bunch.
I'm excited to see it again.
I don't know how well, after I've watched it 20 times, I don't know how well it'll hold up.
I watched it twice. I will say I did it.
I've seen it twice, yeah.
And I will say that the second time you catch things that you now are looking out for, that make it even, the emotions are still there though.
Yes, so, absolutely. I mean, again, that last
what's
going
to happen in it. It's like the Apollo 13 theory.
I bawl every time they get to that last dance with Peggy Carter at the end. I lose my cool.
Oh, me, it's when he talks about cheeseburgers.
Me, it's when Black Widow died.
Love you 5,000.
Yeah, 3, so it has all those moments for sure. What about you, Caleb? How do you feel?
I loved it, dude. I'm a sucker for comic book movies. I'm a fan of all the early X-Men movies. I'm a fan of all the Spider-Man movies. I like the Fantastic Four movies. If it's a superhero movie, I enjoy it because I'm a very visual person. That's why I like comic books so much. But to see stuff acted out on the big screen, yeah, there can be plot holes and stuff in it, I'm sure. But all in all, dude, Thor cut freaking Thanos' head off, bro. At the beginning of the movie, dude, I jumped out of my seat and cussed. I haven't done that in a long time. And it was
blood splatter on Nebula's face.
Yeah, I want to talk about like that too, that part too, just because like the repercussions of him doing that, it was like, instant revenge. It's like he has his revenge, but then later on, you see him, he's like falling apart, and you can see like the revenge didn't pay off.
That's also why he goes with the Guardians at the end too, because think about it, the Guardians were all thieves, hitmen, whatever,
right.
So
it was just a
Thor
good
fits now, dude.
It was good like moral tale though, to show like, hey, revenge doesn't pay off. And then the fights he was battling were all online after that. He was playing video games, and that was his battles. It was so sad,
dude.
and depressing.
That is so
his battles
funny,
were
bro.
online fights.
Oh, that guy's at it again.
Hold on a second. Let me handle this kid.
Yeah, Nukem, whatever, which is great because it's the name of a character in a DC book. It's the best thing, Nuke Man. You know, great. By the way,
I thought it was like Duke Nukem. Dude,
Yeah,
that was that game.
we brought in a guest right now who's going to tell us a little bit. This is Epicurean Eye Relief, everybody.
What's up, homie?
Chef,
What's happening,
What's going on, you
brother?
guys?
we brought him in for a community shout out and community highlight. But I want him. What was your opinion on? First of all, introduce yourself and tell us your opinion on in game.
So my channel is Epicurean Eye Relief. I kind of focus on a multitude of hobbies, not just comic books, but outdoor survival skills and all kinds of stuff like that.
That's
But
awesome.
Endgame, yeah. I actually started out as a firearms content channel, and then it's kind of like developed and branched off from there,
Firearms are fun.
beginning with the Punisher. So yeah.
Yeah, that's who. He's a big Punisher fan, and he had a yeah. But let him tell me about Endgame.
So Endgame, I felt was really an emotional roller coaster, like you were just saying. And the Russo brothers, I think when I forgot what interview it was. It was like a panel interview. They had all the major people from the cast were there, and then they kind of did a Q&A with
Or Avengers: Infinity War at the.
No, it was for Endgame.
Oh, it's for Endgame. Okay.
It was for Endgame. Yeah. And they were just kind of asking the Russo brothers, how would you sum up this movie in one word? And I think it was appropriate what he came up with. He said it was cathartic. Because it actually, like, yeah.
Yeah. I know that they wanted to work on Doctor Doom. That was like a big thing with them.
Oh man.
And now you're hearing about it, I'm like, God, please do it. You know, just Russos don't give up.
Yeah, I hope they come back like, later on when it's time
Yeah.
for that. You know, Be like,
Yeah.
yeah, we're coming back and doing
Yeah.
that. Like,
Yeah.
that would put butts
Don't
in
give it to
seats,
Joss
you know?
Whedon. Please don't give anything to Joss Whedon anymore.
Yeah, please don't.
Look,
So
Good
that was
memory.
talk about Endgame. You guys in the chat, I'm sure you guys are talking about it. I mean, I hope everybody liked it. I liked it a lot more than others, I think. Or John and Jason. But I think that the majority of the fans are going to say that you couldn't ask for a better ending. You couldn't ask for a better lead up, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
The gags went a little bit longer than you'd want, but it kind of played into why would it just change for the sake of changing? I mean, Lebowski Thor was Lebowski Thor.
Lebowski Thor was gold.
Probably the real important part was that they didn't, as soon as he got everything, Mjolnir in one hand, Stormbreaker in the other, he didn't just automatically get svelte, you know? He looks like me. It's the best cosplay.
That's what I thought. As soon as I saw it,
Finally. I finally am going to cosplay as Thor. This beard is not being shaven.
Yeah,
You
that
had
bod.
I went into my office, my boss's office after I saw the movie on there. I said, this new bank that bought us, they got a dress code policy with beard length. And she's like, doesn't say it. I'm like, great. I'm never shaving again. I'm combing my hair. I'm doing it. I'm going Lebowski Thor. If that's going to be the cosplay of the cosplays. Pace Pop.
that was the best burn of the movie, I swear.
That was so good. Yeah,
There was
definitely-
a
Sorry, good.
Oh no. I was just gonna say there was a part that was surprising. All of you have seen the movie, so when you have Doctor Strange opening the portal there towards the end of the movie, when Captain America seems like he just has his back to the wall, and you're like, "How's he gonna get out of this?" I was expecting Doctor Strange to come through. It was kind of like in the theater, a lot of the people thought it was gonna be Doctor Strange, and
Yeah.
then they were just kind of surprised, like, "Oh, everyone's coming through!" Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
I love how they tee that up with the best line of the movie. Hey, Steve, on your left.
Yep.
Russo brothers, beginning and end. Winter Soldier to Endgame.
I also like, of course, Cap with the hammer, but I want to say, like, I think, in Age of Ultron, probably the reason he didn't pick it up was, he was still holding the truth back of Tony's parents and how that happened, but he came close back then. He came pretty close. But Vision was the first one to pick it up, man. I just want to say that. He was the first one that was worthy.
You're a big Vision fan, I know.
Around, handed it to him.
So very cool. So the community highlight this week is actually we were talking about contests. John, is there anybody else in the chat? Do we have to shout out? Or?
I saw Needmo Comics came through.
Needmo. Seeing him.
Big O came through. Comics for Thomas came through. A few others. AG Surfer. I also wanted to mention. I'm gonna have to jump out here in a little bit just because I gotta set the live stream up on my channel for book club.
Okay.
But yeah, get us started here on the community contests.
Sure. So one of the great things about this community and everything else, all the contests that have been going on, and I don't consider them gimmicks in any way. I think they're actually really cool because it kind of tells what I've noticed in the community is there've been a few contests that I'm ecstatic about that I've never seen done before. I love every one of them, and I promise I'm going to start entering more. I won like a bunch, so I took a break off. Not as many as John on the panel, but four. So I
won one of yours even.
Yeah, you did. But one of the things I wanted to shout out was there was a contest, and there was a guy who's going to be on the show as well called Take the Time Collectibles. Check out his channel. Check out his auction. It's literally everybody wins. Just donate either blood or to a charity, and he's got a list of them out there, and just tell him you did it, and you'll get some books, and it's great. I mean, it's awesome. So I'm all about the giving, so that's the big thing. Now, Epicurean had a good contest. Now, I want him to get into that right now. And after he's done, we'll talk about contests on a few other channels that have been going on. So, Epicurean, you're the flow.
Cool. Yeah, so right now I've got a 250 sub contest going. First, second, and third place prize. And the first 75 to actually get in will have a chance to win one of the prizes that I have. It's a few slab books. I actually have them with me. Do you want me to show them off for a second?
Wow.
Okay, cool. So this would be a third place. Shadow, number 1. First DC appearance of the Shadow.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
And then that's beautiful Kuber cover.
Yeah, white pages. I just feel like this character is underappreciated.
I picked up 3 today.
That's awesome. You know what? It's super hard to find the old pulp magazines of this character. I mean, sometimes you can, but they're super expensive, even for like a low grade, like a 4.0 or something.
Yeah, it's actually one of the harder series of the shows that were on radio as well. The first MCU, so to speak, they're actually really hard to find. Green Hornets, not as easy to find. But then if you go back a ways, you've got the old radio serials. They're tough to find, and especially things like The Shadow.
Yeah.
Larks with Dark Larks.
So then I got, this would be second place.
Damn. Look at that.
Batman Damned.
Oh, that's a
9.8.
It's a 9.8 wing.
First DC Black Label, so all right.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, we were talking about it today in the shop how underrated the book is.
And some fantastic art in that book. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh, whoa! Look at this signature series.
This is a X-Men Red number 1 with the X-23 cover swipe.
Who's that signed by?
And then it's signed by Gabriel Delato.
You hearing this, everybody? These are his 250 contest prizes.
That is awesome.
That's crazy.
And
then along with that, just to kind of spice it up.
I just want to say I had a 400 sub contest and I gave away socks. So very different, very different style. Everybody can do their own thing, is what I'm saying. Everybody can do their own thing.
The contest is pretty ridiculous. So.
And then I haven't advertised it or anything just yet, but I have a couple of extra things that I would be including with each of those slabs, just so you get like a care package almost.
So
Dude, that's nuts.
Look at the rules of his channel. And the rules of the contest are, well, what do you have to do? To make the video part is really cool.
Type in the chat so people can click you and sub you.
Yeah, so if you basically... Let me bring it up just because I know I had like really specific instructions on there.
I'm going to jump out here, guys, and bail, but I want to also throw out Mr. Miracle Comics and his contest that's going on right now. He's doing a really interesting contest not so much spec, but looking at undervalued comics that are really worth your time, that are really good, that are not super high priced, that you can get for a good bargain. And then every so often he compiles a few of the responses he gets into a video that he uses on his show and then gives shout outs to the people that have entered. So you can not only enter the contest and have a good time, but then you can watch sort of some of the responses play out as he highlights them on his channel. So Mr. Miracle Comics is a pretty awesome brother as well.
So you guys are doing Deceased, right, John, on your channel?
Yeah, I'm going to steal Caleb here in a little bit. You can hang for a sec, Caleb. I'll get it all set up and send you the invite. But
I'll
yeah,
head over in about 5 minutes
on my channel with Mr. Caleb and Alec here in just a little bit.
Cool. And that's at 11, right? In 15 minutes. So I'll be in the chat.
In about 15, 20 minutes, yeah.
Cool. Hi, buddy.
Okay.
Hi, gang.
All right, so let's go talk about some contests. Thank you, John, very much. Let's talk about the contest now with Epicurean Eye Relief. And if you put your name in the chat, just type your name in the chat or whatever, so everybody can sub you up. We want to do that. The last 13 minutes, we're going to talk about your contest and however everything else is going. So go ahead. Are you there? It's frozen.
Uh-oh.
That's all right.
He got snapped.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, you're back?
Can you guys still hear me?
Oh yeah.
Now
we-
Yeah.
Now we can. Good. Very cool. All right. So if you can hear.
I can hear you, but it's cutting out a little bit intermittently.
Okay. So if you want.
I got the rules up here. Did you want me to?
Yeah, show the rules.
Okay, so must be 18 years of age or older to enter. Subscribe to my channel publicly, because I guess YouTube does allow people to subscribe to different channels, but you can actually make it anonymous if you want to. And then you must live in the US, Canada, or the UK. So it covers a large area. You can enter my contest. And then leave a comment on my video along with a link to a response video. And then in the response, I just want you to talk about or show your top 5 keys and then who your favorite anti-hero is and why.
So that's it, everybody. You get those 3 slab books, and this is part of the community I wanted to highlight was contest. And Epicurean's got a great channel. I mean, it's got the firearm stuff is in there. If you're interested in firearms, I found it very informative and everything else for someone who has one. It's legitimately just a great channel overall. His comic stuff is outstanding. Recommend everybody definitely check that out. And if you want, Frank, can you put your type a few times in the chat, hello or something? So
yeah, I just put the link in the chat, so hopefully people can click on
a lot
that.
of people are asking about it. Caleb, don't you have a contest you go on all the time?
Well, right now I've got a monthly Patreon contest, and there's only 2 people in it right now, Comic Noob and Discovery Bay. So I'll be doing that live tomorrow. And also I was doing a show, Dollar Bin Dive In. Me and Chad are going to get it back going here soon, and that'll be a giveaway every week. It'll be one of the books that I found in the Dollar Bin.
That's cool. So I have that contest going on where I'll be you'll be getting a piece of art and everything else if you just watch the 5 Planet Comic-Con videos. But one of the things I think if it's a healthy discussion is the giving back that everybody does in the community with the contest. I think that it's an undervalued thing, and I personally want to apologize that I did not enter as many contests this last month as I want to, but I'm going to be back and doing that. And a huge shout out to Metarog, who organized the stuff.
He's a great guy.
Bay, yeah, exactly. As Discovery Bay does every day for us and put out just the great content that we can all watch out there and choose to watch. Metarog does a weekly contest roundup, and what used to be like 3 or 4 has gotten to be something in the ridiculous. He's always like, well, new record, and he goes through each one, each detail, and it's great. Definitely Metarog, definitely a huge thank you for that. And as far as contests go, my opinion on him is the more the merrier. I mean, I like doing random ones, like everybody has the big number ones or the big milestone number. Mine are, if you like my stuff, I just want you to go out there and just enjoy it. But also I want to give away some fun stuff that are relevant to that, and I think that's a lot of fun. And big shout out to all the channels that do the contests that include modern stuff and silver stuff, because there was a contest I entered that I won. It was like, show us your best 3 Golden Age books, and I kind of was like, well, there's probably about 9 of us that are doing this so religiously. So we're going to show out our books.
Yeah.
You know, it's good when we have everybody included in that. When you say your top 5 keys, I mean, everybody has different top 5 keys. My keys will probably be the Silver Age keys because they would affect me the most of me collecting. I collect the Golden Age now because I collected the Silver Age. I still got a bunch to do. But, you know, if you think about it, I know somebody's going to have an ASM 129 on there. You know, you're going to have, I bet you somebody's got a Satana, but not Zetana, a Santana. Rocket.
That's on my Grail list.
Talking about there, somebody has to have an Avengers 57 and a Batman 45 out there, you know. But I think that's great. You know, you can start showing your grails and everything else. So
You mean one of these?
yeah, show that. So we have a little bit of a moment here back left going on here. So why don't we show some stuff we might have picked up this week? I'll go first because I want to hand it off to Caleb. He's got a bunch. Epicurean, if you got anything you picked up this week you want to share with everybody, that'd be cool. It's kind of like a fun part at the end. We just decided to do a show and tell. So I picked up this. Anybody remember my list, my Doctor Strange list from the show The List, 180?
Yeah, I got a couple.
I needed this. It needs a press just for me to read it. I don't want to touch it anymore. Cool. We'll do that. I picked up, that's one. My big find this week is a jumbo comic from 1943. Yes, this is not in Mylar yet. On my desk, because I went through each page. I have a detached centerfold, but if you can see this is a 1943 copy with beautiful shine, beautiful colors.
So beautiful.
Look at that elephant. Look at Sheena. That's a 1943 Sheena. That's legit right there. Outside of red dresses, Caleb, it's polka dot bikinis, my man. Leopard print, animal print bikinis.
Dude, that good girl art is freaking amazing, dude.
I told you. It's like crack now.
I ordered my first Rangers on eBay.
Right. We're gonna be able to show some stuff.
All right, I got my Spidey Grail this
hang on.
week.
I want Epicurean to go first.
Oh,
Because
I'm
you're
gonna have to jump on John's channel here in about 2 minutes.
Oh, okay. So go ahead now.
I just got my Spidey Grail in first appearance of MJ. First yellow and red suit, Iron Man. That's Tales of Suspense number 48.
Nice.
48.
First new Wonder Girl, I believe, in early Teen Titans Showcase 60. Or Brave and the Bold 60, my bad. And then, of course, pick that one up.
Hell yeah.
I found a
that's
collection.
awesome.
I came into a collection. I'm selling a bunch of books for them, which is a bunch of Tales of Suspense, a bunch of old Avengers. But yeah, dude, and it keeps going. Early X-Men, early Spider-Man, just on and on and on. It's crazy. I've never experienced anything like it in my life.
Awesome. You got that cool honey hole that I love when you send me those books, man. It's pretty great.
But I gotta go, man. Thank you so much
right.
for having
Yeah,
me
yeah.
on, dude.
Hey,
Thank
Caleb,
you, chat.
thanks for coming in the last minute there. We appreciate it.
Y'all have a good one, dude.
You too,
Thank
Caleb.
you.
See you in the
Later,
chat in a little bit.
Epicurean, what'd you pick up this week?
So I'm really purposeful when I pick out my books, at least the ones that I'm going to actually read the whole series on. So I'll pick up one or two, and then mostly just cover buys if I go into the shop. But I got a couple of books here. This one I was just curious about because it featured the Punisher.
That was a lot of fun.
That's a good one.
It wasn't too bad. It was okay. I think it mischaracterized the Punisher though, because he go at the beginning. Did you read this book? I don't want to like tell you if you want to go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
Just at the beginning when he kind of like picks up the shopkeeper and he's like, you think he's going to do something bad to him, and he's not going to, just asking where something is.
Yeah.
I think that was a little bit out of character. He's not going to just do that to an innocent person. You know what I mean?
Who wrote that?
Not sure who the writer was on this one.
That wasn't the one who was doing the series. 'Cause I think Punisher now. I mean, if you read Savage Avengers, it was pretty. I can't wait. They needed.
You know what? I just felt like the cover looked confused a little bit, just because it looks like kind of like what's that video game on PC? I feel terrible for not knowing that.
War of Warcraft.
World of Warcraft, yeah. It looked like World of Warcraft kind of mixed with MCU, so I was like, It was a little bit confusing, but this one was all right. Thanos #1. I don't know if you guys.
Yep.
I really love the decal arts on those coming out. I didn't bother to read it though. It was just a story I didn't really care to know about, you know. But that's just me.
It kind of defines Thanos's bloodlust almost.
Yeah, I thought that too. Because the guys,
I like the way it read.
Yeah,
as a Thanos fan, I did like it. You know,
I feel like they covered I hear they covered a lot of stuff that was in Thanos Rising.
Well, no, it's after Thanos Rising.
Yeah, right.
And it's like the Jason Aaron Thanos Rising run was so great, and I think this is Trini Howard. I think is doing this one.
Yeah, Teenie Howard.
Yeah, and she's doing this, and it's pretty good. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I was impressed with the first issue. I'm definitely buying issue 2.
Okay, I'll have to check it out then.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, it's not a happy story, so it's pretty good. What else is it? What else you got there?
Pick this up just to kind of commemorate the Doctor Strange scene from Endgame. This is Doctor Strange, Giant Size, Annual #1.
Very familiar. I actually just talked about it before you came on. We were in the private chat. Caleb picked up a book today, and I'm like, I need to buy it because Giant Size X-Men, Giant Size Doctor Strange 1 leads as a story that it says whatever book. And this time it's so far in the past. I'm like, wow, this is 1975 or whatever that year was that came out. And I need to go get a book from 68 or 69 to figure out how that happened. Right. I thought it was great because you don't need to, but to be a completist, I see, I know that book. You know, that's exactly. So I have to go back and buy a Golden Age book.
Yeah, I got my OCD thing too. You just have to get everything.
Yep, I'm a completist.
So I got, but then there was a couple of comic books that I don't feel like a lot of people have been highlighting or discussing much, at least in my experience.
Highlight them.
Has anyone been reading Ice Cream Man?
Yeah, it's good. I have a lot to catch up on. I think I dropped off around 6 or 7. But yeah, I was really enjoying it. I really like David Lynch and kind of like the avant-garde weirdness of things. And so that one's like right up my alley.
I feel like it's like a modern spin on like the Twilight Zone. I feel like that.
I can see that.
Because it's like
Outer Limits or something, or
because you have this, and then you have the sub story within it that you don't realize until like the 7th or 8th issue.
Right.
That there's
it seems like they're all
origin.
different issues. Right. Yeah, exactly. It seems like they're all different issues, but they still have like kind of a connecting like thing all the way through. Yeah. Totally. Yeah, I'm looking forward to catching up on that, and I'm glad it came back. It took a break for a while, so I got to do some catching up on that for sure.
Looks like the Mastodon's a big fan of Ice Cream Man as well. So that's always good. He's always got some pretty good taste. So good stuff. I actually read the first 3 issues, and it was during the time when I was in my Cullen Bun. I'm going to buy everything, and Bone Parish came out, and I was like, all right, skipping it, going to Bone Parish, and never got back into Ice Cream Man. But I buy a lot of indie books. Like if you ever watch any of the stuff, Relay by Aftershock, I can't talk enough about that. You know, Action Lab has some great ones. I love Aberrant. You know, if you're, Aberrant's my favorite. So
I read that Jock Frozen Jock story thing today from Ahoy. That was pretty fun. It was like 80s kind of throwback. I enjoyed like the art. I mean, the storyline's okay and the dialogue is okay, but like I kind of want to see what happens. It's kind of fun. I enjoyed myself a lot. I don't know. I want to read more of that.
Epicurean, as we're using our made-up names. Tell us some more books that you want us to highlight, or you don't. Let's talk about them. Maybe we can.
Well, no, I also, because what I appreciated when I first got back into comic books, I collected a little bit, kind of like as a side thing. I want to say from junior high school to maybe about 19 or 20. And then I stopped for like years until just recently, probably within the last 4 or 5 months.
Okay.
And when I came back, it was starting with Ennis's series of The Punisher. And what attracted me to that, it was just the level of realism incorporated within that storyline that attracted me.
Yeah, Garth Ennis is one of those that we're thankful that he's in our era. You know, there's writers that we are privileged to have. I think the writing today has never been better. No offense to the classics. I mean, I'm biased, but Walt Simonson is a better writer than most anybody else. And did you notice in every Marvel book, the Star Wars ad? I'm grabbing Golden Age. Everyone has a Star Wars ad. If you look into all the Marvel books today,
I think I did. Yeah.
yeah, that's Walt Simonson. He did the cover. So this is a Star Wars book with Simonson that hasn't been done since the original series. This ad here, that's badass. And I look down here, and that's right there. That's Walt Simonson's signature. Recognize that anywhere. So that's good.
Cool.
So yeah, I mean, one of the things I want to thank everybody first of all for joining us right now is we want to highlight everything that we're pretty versatile here on our show here, and we think that versatile shows everything else. We might have our cliques, like our Golden Age clique that we're gonna have. We got our Silver Age nerds, and we have our guys that love villains, guys that love heroes, guys that love DC, guys that love Marvel, but guys love indies, guys like me and Alec that love Valiant old school, guys like Jason who now knows that it's the best stuff that's ever been written. So, but I have to admit, Gideon Falls is ridiculously good right now.
Yeah, that's my favorite book right now is Gideon Falls and Criminal.
Yeah, and comics, yeah. Criminal's a good series. I was just going to say, I like the realism in that series as well.
Yeah, I do think Ed Brubaker he's one of those that he's like, maybe we're in that. There's a couple of guys who read Alan Moore's book on how to write comics finally all at the same time. I'm really looking forward to Silver Surfer Black coming out next month. I'll be keeping an eye on that and definitely want to.
I was this close to getting that Delato cover. I was like, should I? I was like, no.
The Delato signed one?
Yeah, the Silver Surfer Black. I think
it's
it was
still
exclusive.
available.
It's still available. Yeah, I think the Virgin cover is too.
I want to get the Virgin signed cover.
Yeah,
I'm debating, but it's a little bit of coin, and remember I keep swearing off variants and everything else, except for Delato and else, and I'm like, man, you said you were taking a break.
Yeah, and there's like another War of the Realms Delato too.
War of the Realms, I already got it.
There's another War of the Realms Delato coming out, and I'm like, oh, it's so good.
It's ridiculous. I said I will never do variants again, and then all of a sudden I'm like, well, except for Delato, and he's taking a break, or Jerkovich, he's taking a break. Delato is like, no, I'm just going to go out and put out JD. I know you're a big fan of Thor and Silver Surfer, and so every cover that's coming out, you have to buy. And then when you're like, oh, I like Elektra is my favorite female. Oh, we're going to put Elektra, and I'll give you a She-Hulk too.
Yeah, that's why I was with Black Cat and Pirelli. I was like, oh, are you kidding me? I was like, I don't want to spend $70 right now. But all right, like, geez, killing me.
Anyway, I want to thank you for joining us. Oh, go ahead, Frank.
No, I was just going to say, have you guys been liking the Archer Catwoman covers?
Oh, definitely. I think they're beautiful.
I'm a different kind of breed with that Archer. I've always expressed my opinion that I think it's great sometimes, and it's boring as hell all the time. Boring. There's nothing going on. I like this. I like action stuff. I don't know. I've always been that way. I'm attracted to, Thor versus Silver Surfer is a thing. A girl or whatever it is, just standing there wasn't my thing. A few iconic covers, 300, Spawn, stuff like that. Some Batman, some other ones. But, Artgerm, every cover, it's all the same to me. Everything looks exactly the same.
A lot of the same.
I like Thor, the Jane Foster Thor. I think the Catwoman or the Batgirl was really good. This, I guess this is the DC, the Catwoman one. Yeah. My wife reads that book. I thought the Battle Lines covers were better than all the other ones, by the way.
Those are cool too.
Yeah. I mean, everybody each his own. Look at this. Early Delato, I got to do something with. If he puts out a Thanos, I'm going to lose my mind. What, Thanos, whatever this one's called. 5-issue set, issue 5, variant Delato Virgin variant sketch cover.
Like, no.
Stop it. So
I also want to shout out real quick JP's Budget Collecting, because he has a contest also that goes to April 17th. So everyone sub up JP Budget Collecting if you haven't, already. I'm sure you have already. But yeah, please check out his contest as well as Epicurean Eye Relief's contest.
Yes. And check out Metarog's channel for all the other contests you should be entering, and enjoy yourselves. Do the contest. You get free books, and if you don't want the books, you can always give them away, donate them, do whatever you want to do. But the best thing about it is you might win, and if you win as much as John, we make fun of you.
I'm gonna go to John's Comics with Kids and watch about Deceased. So we'd love to have all you in the chat to come over to John's Comics with Kids and talk about Deceased. Be really cool.
All right, Epicurean, take us out.
Oh, I was just gonna say I really appreciate you guys having me on here. The whole Comic Core family, especially JD. I really appreciate you guys having me on here, man.
Hey, man, it's our pleasure. We'll definitely get you on something again soon. Thank you very much for coming, and see you on John's channel.